Welcome to the Sleep Stories channel by UZZ. I am delighted to share a new story with you. Before we begin, please take a deep breath and relax your body. Then, find the most comfortable position for yourself and get ready to soar into the universe of stories. In a small town, there was a magical shop called Wish Grocery. This shop not only sold various unique and peculiar items but also granted wishes for those in need. The shop's owner never accepted cash as payment. Instead, he required each customer to fulfill a small wish for someone else. Trading wishes for wishes was this shop's unique transaction method. In this town lived a panda couple. Mr. Panda loved to sleep in, and no matter how Mrs. Panda tried to wake him up each morning, he always snoozed through. Although Mrs. Panda prepared a lavish breakfast every day, Mr. Panda always hurriedly ate a few bites before returning to bed, which frustrated Mrs. Panda. Aware of his problem, Mr. Panda wanted to change his bad habit. So, he and Mrs. Panda visited the Wish Grocery together. "What wish do you have?" the owner asked with a smile. Mrs. Panda glared at Mr. Panda, who looked somewhat embarrassed. I wish to stop oversleeping," the owner nodded, glanced at Mrs. Panda, and smiled knowingly. He told them about a sleeping koala in the nearby forest, who had been asleep for an entire month without the strength to get up if they could help the koala wake up. Their wish would also come true. The next morning, in a change of routine, Mr. Panda got up early with Mrs. Panda. They chatted and enjoyed the sunlight and forest air on their way. Soon, they spotted the big fur ball hanging from a tree. "It's Mr. Koala!" Mr. Panda exclaimed excitedly. Mr. Koala was still deep in slumber, not even moving his nose. After exchanging glances, Mr. and Mrs. Panda decided to use a fragrant cheesecake to tempt him. Smelling the aroma, Mr. Koala's nose twitched slightly. Excited, the pandas watched closely, feeling success was imminent. But soon after, Mr. Koala returned to his deep sleep. Unresponsive to their calls and shouts, "How can a koala sleep more than me?" Mr. Panda said, half annoyed, half amused, kicking the tree in frustration. "Don't worry. I remember the town's koala grandpa saying his favorite is wild honey from the beehives in the breadfruit trees. Maybe that would work," Mrs. Panda suggested. However, collecting wild honey was a tough and dangerous task. It involved climbing trees and avoiding bee swarms. To prevent the bees from noticing and to protect Mrs. Panda from harm, Mr. Panda would quietly climb the trees early in the morning when the bees were out, collecting just a little each day. Mrs. Panda waited below to assist him. After more than half a month, Mr. Panda finally gathered a full jar of honey. Carefully, Mr. Panda climbed the tree and fed the honey into Mr. Koala's mouth. Almost at the bottom of the jar, Mr. Koala finally made a faint sound, licked his lips, and murmured awake. Mr. Panda couldn't help but cheer. Returning to the Wish grocery, Mr. Panda asked the owner to fulfill his wish. "Your wish has already come true. Haven't you noticed that you haven't overslept these days?" the owner replied with a smile. Mr. Panda suddenly realized the truth. The owner then turned to Mrs. Panda. "I think your wish might have been fulfilled too." "What wish? Why didn't you tell me?" Mr. Panda scratched his round head. "Silly. My wish was for you to stop oversleeping and spend more time with me," Mrs. Panda said, a bit annoyed but affectionate. From that day on, they never argued about oversleeping again. Mr. Panda learned to make various delicious breakfasts, and they enjoyed their beautiful life together. The Wish grocery, due to the owner's thoughtful service, gained even more popularity among the customers.